Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Olga is here. For those of you who haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the bell as well to get the latest notifications about the videos I post out there for you guys. And in today's video we are going to be reviewing this wonderful Drawn In decked out collaboration of Smashbox with Anna Strumpf, who did the artwork for this wonderful palette. And as you can recall from my previous videos, I have done the review on their mini lipsticks, and this is what the big palette looks like. This is actually not sold at Sephora. I got this at Ulta some time ago, and I've been playing with this palette. I actually used it in one of my previous videos because I needed a transition color, I believe, and I absolutely enjoyed working with it. It comes in this beautiful unicarton right there. I have, of course, already removed it from it. I do usually like to keep all of my unicartons, especially if there is like artwork like this, because they are very pretty. There are stickers, kind of like a typical fashion of this collection. I also got these stickers, I believe they are the same for the lipsticks, and I don't have the other pieces. I believe that there is a set where you're getting two types of eyeshadows as well as these 3 sculpting powders. Those just didn't speak to me, that's why I did not pick them up. So these are the stickers. This is a tissue paper that covers this palette, and if you look closely, this is like a holographic type of thing going on, so it shifts, if you can see that. And right there it says Smashbox. These shadows retail for $42. Like I said, I picked them up at Ulta. This is not just an eyeshadow palette. It actually has sculpting powders. There are 3 sculpting powders and there are 2 blushers. I'm going to open her up. The only thing that why I don't want to turn it right now all the way is because it has a huge kick butt mirror, which I find personally beautiful, but it's kind of ironic. In the makeup channel we need mirrors to be able to, of course, film video and do our makeup, but for YouTuber, mirrors can be our enemy at the same time, because you don't want to see the mess on the other side, you don't want to see the reflection of the camera, right? So I'm going to cover the mirror and show you what the palette looks like. So right here you are getting the 15 shades, and here you have 3 sculpting powders. On this side you have 2 blushers. I'm going to walk you through the specs of this palette. So you are getting, I've calculated the weights of how many grams per product you are getting in this palette, and basically you are getting 1.11 grams per the square of an eyeshadow. There are 15 of them. The total weight of grams for this for the eyeshadows is 16.65 grams. For the total of the blushers, you are getting 8.1 and 4.05 each per grams per the blushers, I'm sorry. And the sculpting powders, the total weight is 8.48 grams of product, and you are getting 2.83 grams each. This palette is made in the USA. The shelf life on this palette is 24 months. This palette says that it's cruelty-free on the website, at least on the Ulta website. However, I did not find like a leaping bunny on it or something like that in terms of the symbol on the box. The ingredients of this palette does contain, as first couple of ingredients, there is mica and talc. I'm not concerned about those ingredients. In fact, the majority of eyeshadows have mica and talc. This palette has been designed without any parabens, phthalates, and there is no fragrance. And they say on the website that it's the value of $232. Personally, I believe I mentioned this in my previous similar video to this one. I do not like when they do this kind of thing, when they say to you, you're buying something that is $42, but it's the value of $232. I don't really understand why the companies do that. Maybe they want to sort of talk up how good they are and how much stuff you're getting per $42. I would never pay $232 for this palette. There are other palettes maybe that I would have paid this much, because yes, I have bought more expensive palettes in the past, but I would never pay that much for this. Although this is a beautiful palette, I am wearing these, I would pay $42, and I did. I am wearing these eyeshadows on my eyes right now. I actually was going to film for you the look while I was reviewing the palette, but then when I was putting on the foundation, I got distracted, and once I did the baking and all of that, I started putting on the eyeshadows, and I was almost done with my look. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be actually filming the look for the video, but alas, I already have done the look. So for the transition shade, I am wearing, like, as I call it, my canvas color. I'm wearing a color of this square right here, and then I went into this deeper matte right here to define my crease, and then this more red, kind of warm toned brown, I went in to kind of give more the definition to my crease. And then I went into this color and tucked it into the outer corners of my eyes, and then I went into this shimmery shadow right there before applying the Too Faced glitter glue, and I put this on the center part of my lid, and then I used again this matte right there, and I tucked it into the lower part of the eye. So what else? I am wearing this blusher, this tone right here. Personally, some of these sculpting powders do not work for me. This one, for example, at the very top is very cold for me, like pretty cold tone. And if I put something like this on, I will just look dirty, like ashy. And then this one right here, it possibly could work, but I just like my Kat Von D sculpting powders. I don't really think I like this. And also the size of the pan is a bit narrow for me, like my brush would not be able to go in. I would have preferred if they were of this size right here. And this lighter sculpting powder definitely would work for me. This blusher right here is a bit on a cold side as well, so it's more for a cool toned skin. I'm a warm toned person, so I try to naturally gravitate to warmer tones. Let's go ahead and do the swatches right now, and we'll be right back. So I'm going to be swatching in my typical fashion. I have primed my arm with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I'm going to be doing a finger swatch followed by the brush swatch. I do the swatches with the e.l.f. brush, and we're going to be swatching this Drawn In, Decked Out palette by Smashbox. We're going to be swatching the eyeshadows. There are 15 eyeshadows in this palette. There are also 2 blushers and 2 contouring sculpting powders, as well as the highlighting sculpting powder. In between the swatches, we're going to be cleaning off the brush in the color switch. This one came from Ulta. The palette comes in the unicarton. I just put the unicarton on top to purposefully cover the mirror so we don't have unnecessary reflection. These are the stickers that come with the palette. Absolutely love how these mattes were swatching. They swatched beautifully for me. This palette, when I look at it to see how many mattes and shimmers it contains, It seems to me like it definitely has 7 mattes, and everything else, because like some of them look like there is a matte but it's glittery, and the others look like more like metallic. So I decided to go ahead and just sort of say that they're all shimmers. So whatever has glitter and metallic, I would just combine and say it's a shimmer, so it's not a matte. So it's 7 mattes and 8 shimmers. And let me just show you something else. On the back of the palette, all of these names are on the back, so when you are working with this palette, this is, I guess, these are all your names. Let me just tell you right away that I don't really like that, because if I were to do the look and film it, I would not be each time like looking in the back and, oh, did I use this shadow or this shadow? So it would be, I will attach in the description bar down below what eyeshadows I used to create this look, so it's more specific that way. But I do not like, I think I would have preferred if the name was right underneath the eyeshadow, or if they had the kind of like a clear film where you could actually see on the top of the film the name of the eyeshadows. So I think I would have preferred that. In terms of how this palette feels in your hands, this feels very heavy and sturdy. It seems like you are getting a ton of product in here. I wouldn't hesitate and rebuy this again. I am very glad that I got my hands on it. It is a limited edition, so it's still out there in Ulta. It is available on Ulta's website, and I will link the information down below. So with all of that said, guys, I want to say that this Drawn In Decked Out Anna Strumpf in collab with Smashbox palette is Olga Guffey approved. I absolutely adore this palette. I actually, when I picked this up, I did not have any much hopes for it, because it was very close to that time when I picked up the Carly by Belle. I would definitely compare it to BH Cosmetics and Carly by Belle palette, because they also had a little bit of the eyeshadows, they had sculpting, they had highlighters and the blushers, but I didn't like that palette because of the color scheme in it. The choices of colors seemed like the palette was not enough in order for me to complete the look, whereas this particular palette is very versatile. You are getting all of these dark mattes right here, some shimmers, and here you have very light colors. So you could use this palette for day look, like the work look, and the evening look. So you're really getting a good value here. Not to mention you're getting a lot of product you're getting like over a gram of product per each of these squares, and it seems like it's a lot to me. I mean, I don't know how deep these are. Maybe they are shallow and maybe they just look wide. But to me, it seems like you're getting a ton of product here, so I wouldn't hesitate and recommend. So with all of that said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I will see you all in my next video. I love you. Bye!